Hey everybody, it's Amy B, and I'm here with you today for this edition of Agent Hacks. And this is titled Standards. Stand for something or you'll fall for anything. What are your standards? Please, guys, tell me you have standards. You know, everybody works with buyers, we work with sellers, we bring agents on to our company. We have friends, we have family, colleagues, neighbors, all kinds of people in our lives. And we have to have standards around who we spend time with, who we work with, and what that relationship looks like. So let me give you a couple of ideas of what you can consider standards. So when somebody asks me, because I am a listing specialist, I'm a master listing specialist, and I have my course, Sell 100% of Your Listings. When someone says to me, Amy, what are your listing standards? Here are my listing standards right off the bat. And it's going to be different for everyone in every market and based on every person's team and personality. But I'm telling you, you need to have some standards in place. Stand for something or you'll fall for anything. You'd be running around like a chicken with your head cut off without standards. Okay, so here are my listing standards. Number one, I don't list anything under $150,000. Okay, is there an exception to that? Yes, I charge a minimum fee that I will be willing to do. If they pay the minimum fee, I will take the listing under $150,000. Number two, I do not list on the west side of town. I just don't know it, and I don't think I'm the strongest agent for that. I have an agent partner on the west side that I will refer the business to because I believe they are the best fit for the client. Number three, I only sell residential property. So I'll do new construction, I'll do residential resale, any of that. That's where our bread and butter is. That's where my team does the best work. We do not work rentals. We do not work foreclosures or short sales. We do not do bank-owned properties. We don't do multifamilies. We don't work with investors. But you know what we do? We kill it when we're selling to families that are buying homes to put their families in every day. Every day we do residential sales. We're very focused and very good at residential sales. So that's my third standard. Other standards I have for listings are that they follow my process, my proven process that works to sell every single listing when I put my sign in the front yard. Are there exceptions to that? Very few. I have to have the trust and a trusting two-way relationship with my seller. If trust is not there, I cannot do my job, period. So if I get a vibe that we don't have mutual trust, I will let that client go at any point in the process. Also, there are times during a listing where I will absolutely require that they get a pre-inspection on the property. I used to work with flippers and it was an absolute requirement. Many times depending on the age of the property or depending on the financial limitations and situations of the client, I will require that. So those are some things that I require in terms of taking a listing. One of the other things that I require is in my pre-qualification process, I ask the question, what is the balance on your mortgage? And do you have any second lines of credit, equity loans, or home equity loans, lines of credit, or what's the other thing? I don't remember. Anyways, if they're not willing to share that with me, I can't move forward because this is a business decision for me and for them, and we need to be on the same page. Let's move over now to what are your listing standards? Do you have standards? Share those with us. What are your standards for listings? All right, so, another one of my standards for working with any clients of any kind based on my personality and my business and my team is that they have to have email, period. If they don't have email, I don't know how to work with them. I don't know how to communicate with them. I don't know how to get them the information that they need. And I can't do business without somebody that doesn't have email. I get a lot of crap for that. but it is what it is. And I've been very busy for many years with only clients that have email. Let's talk about buyer standards now. Okay, so I have a buyer's agent on my team, and she's awesome. Her name's Jenny, and Jenny came to work with me 3 years ago, and I forced some standards on her, and she has tripled her business, tripled her income since then. So I also happen to have authored a course called The Ultimate Buyer Loyalty Process. And in that, we talk about standards. So we have 3 main standards when we work with buyers. And so far, we are closing over 95% of all of our buyer leads because of these standards that we have in place. The number one standard that I will soapbox on for hours on end is safety. We need to have standards around safety in our business. And we need to be putting ourselves first and making sure that we're being smart and safe, because no amount of money is worth your life. I've told my buyer's agent that, and we have these rules in place in order to protect not only our time, but our safety and the time that we have to spend with other clients. So here are our 3 main safety, or actually standards, for buyers. Number 1, our buyers need to do a buyer consultation with us. That is a time where we sit down, we go over the expectations, we answer questions, we prepare them for what the market's going to be like, and we listen to what their needs and wants are, and we create their criteria list. Okay, that's a vital, important part of establishing that authority and being able to move forward with a full picture of what they're looking for from the beginning. The second thing that we absolutely require no matter what is a pre-approval. This is a safety item also. When your trusted lender pre-approves a buyer that you have never met and don't know from one person to the next, they get certain bits of information that I know make me feel safer. They get work information, they get addresses, they get social security numbers. If a person that you have never met is not willing to get pre-approved for a loan, you should never show them a house ever. You can meet them in your office. That's a standard. If I don't know who you are and I don't have an introduction to you from a referral person, I need to meet you at my office. That's a safety standard, and that's just a smart standard to have. The pre-approval gives us the ability to know that they can buy a house. So we're not wasting our time with somebody that can't buy a house, or we're not wasting our time in the wrong price range. A lot of things can be discovered with a pre-approval that we need to be aware of. The third top standard that we have for our buyers is that they hire us and us alone to represent them to buy. We sit them down in a buyer consultation. We explain what it means to hire us as their agent. We explain what we're going to do for them and what we expect them to do for us. And we move forward in that agency agreement where we are their agent exclusively of anyone else. That allows us to feel really great about dropping everything we're doing when a house comes on the market, because we know that they can buy it. We know that it meets their criteria because we talked about that in our meeting, and we know that they're dedicated to working with us. So we can make it happen. When we do those 3 things with our buyers, we have a 97% close rate. The one time that we didn't close someone is because they ended up taking a job out of the city and didn't need to buy a house here. But we have a proven process. Other standards that we don't work short sales, foreclosures, that kind of thing. We don't believe that it provides the kind of experience that we want to be attached to. We do have times in our business where we're referral only, and that is a standard. So sometimes we will not accept buyer leads from no attached source because maybe we're too busy with the leads that we have, or we just don't want to take on additional stress. So those are some of the standards that we have when working with buyers. We also require that they do some things like drive by the listings before we show them. We get them involved in the process so that they are very educated and very able to make good quality decisions in an effective manner. So those are just some of our buyer and seller standards that we have in place. I'm really curious what yours are. Do you have standards? What are your minimum standards? What is it that you need absolutely in order to move forward? What I've found is that when I have standards, when I communicate those standards, when my clients know what the standards are, they respect the business so much more, and they respect myself, they respect my buyer's agent, they respect our time, they respect our profession, and they understand the expectations and the parameters. There are times when clients do not meet our expectations, and we just have to let them know, I'm sorry, but right now we can't help you with what your expectations are and with what ours are. We're not aligned. And we really want everyone to experience success when working with us. And we don't feel like with your expectations, we can do that for you. Sometimes when we have that conversation, that does one of two things. One, it kicks them to the curb. They go find somebody else. And two, if we have that conversation, sometimes they say, well, what do you mean? What am I not doing that's meeting your expectations? And then that gives me a chance to kind of slap them in the face and be like, hey guys, you're not doing what I need. And so I'm going to let you go. And they're like, what? What do I need to do? What am I not doing right? And then it gets their attention and it allows them to correct the situation. So just by kind of calling their bluff, you can sometimes re-engage them. But again, if they walk away because of your not meeting your standards, then they walk away and let them go, because you can find 3 other people that will meet your standards, and it'll make your life so much better. It'll make your business so much better. And that's what I'm about, is not growing a big team, not killing it every day, not hustling your ass off, not being a Pop-Tart and getting up every time your phone goes off to go show a house. It's working smart, having safety features in place and standards so that you know that when you leave your family at night to go show a house, that you're doing it for somebody that can actually make an offer and close on a loan. And it's not some random person that you've never met. You're risking your safety and you're missing somebody's soccer game to show some random person a house that hasn't committed to you. So I hope that this is enlightening and eye-opening. I encourage you to create standards around buyers and sellers, create standards around your friends, create standards around your business partners, your vendors, everything. And when you communicate those standards up front, it's going to make a world of difference in how you approach business and how people approach you in your business. If you have any questions or you need anything, just reach out to me. Again, we talk a lot about standards in both of my courses. If you're interested in that, let me know. And have a very fantastic week ahead. And the spring market is upon us, so make sure you get your standards in place so that you can hit the ground running and kill it. All right, bye.